How's it, chaps, and welcome back to Burton Build's garage again. Not really a build project today as such, more like looking at a couple of little odds and ends. It's coming close to Christmas now, and my wife says I'm not bright enough, so she bought me a torch. No, I joke. I bought the torch. Seriously, it is Christmas coming along, and kind of thought I'd treat myself. Kind of getting all my tools back up to spec. It's been quite a couple of years before I've actually bought anything. So just got on the Googler there, and went to a couple of online stores and picked myself up some DeWALT items. Deciding to stick with DeWALT for now. I'm going to see how it treats me over the next couple of years, but hopefully it's good. So a couple of things I bought is bought some gloves. It's always nice to have a good pair of working gloves. Not quite too sure how long these are going to last. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look at them in another episode, but they feel pretty good. And also my safety glasses, they're getting a little bit long in the tooth. So I bought some of these. I think this is more for safety glasses in really dusty areas. Nice soft rubber, that type of thing. Anyway, not too important now. And I think this is what I'm going to be using mostly in the shop here. Feel a little bit cheap, although I think they were only about $100. I don't know, $7, somewhere around there. Pretty cool. And then also bought this. This is a little holster for the drill. I nearly dropped it a few weeks ago when I was climbing up a ladder, and that's about the second story. Whew, nearly dropped the drill. So thought, let me buy one of these things. Yeah, hopefully it comes in handy. So the main two things that we're going to look at today, well, not actually two things. While I was shopping for this light, came across this little thing. It's a right angle drive, also made by DeWALT. Supposedly the second version of this that they've made, DWARA 100. Anyway, we'll have a look at this also in another episode. But the main criminal today is this guy, DeWALT. It is a DCL043 Type 1. Just a flashlight, really. I think it's one of the new ranges. Type 1, it means it's the first iteration, from what I can find out. This is the 20 volt max version. It's basically the US version. The South African version, I think, is known as the 18 volt XR, the 18V XR. It runs on 18 volt batteries. See, here's my, well, these are the products that we buy here in South Africa, 18 volt XR. This is also 18 volt, but it works just fine. No problem. Well, I mean, there's really no difference. So, you know, the 20 volt versus the 18 volt batteries, so it's the same battery. In all essence, it's the same battery. So it's quite bright. It's got the white and the red, and then off. Yeah, we might have a look at it at a later stage compared to some of the other flashlights that I've got. But yeah, it looks quite good. When I was shopping around and looking for a nice flashlight again, you know, I kind of saw there were a couple of reviews. It's quite a new tool still. I think it was launched in 2018. I'm not sure. There we go, 2018 26-TW. I'm not sure what that means, but it's quite a new tool, and there are not many reviews on the web or on YouTube, and there were no reviews of what it is like inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart to see how it works. It uses a Torx T10 size screw. Actually, before we take it apart, let's just feel it. I mean, it feels pretty sturdy. It's you know, the clicking action is nice. It's nice and firm. You know, it's basically like any other DeWALT tool. Any of the new stuff that's kind of rubberized with plastic. I think these are nylon cases. But yeah, look, I mean, it feels pretty good. You know, for the price you pay, I don't think it's not a bad option. Anyway, let's open it up. Ew. Kind of think my Torx aren't going to open this thing. There we go. So while we're busy opening it up, it's the DCL043, the model, 20 volt max. Or if you're from South Africa, it's the 18 volt XR. They're basically the same light. Only difference is that the 20 volt version has got three bright LEDs and one red LED, and the South African version, the XR, the 18 volt XR, has got one dim white LED, also with the 3 bright LEDs. So just remember that when you are looking at the 2 models that are available. DeWALT reckons this thing is 1000 lumens on the bright setting, and then 90 lumens on the red setting. So, I don't know exactly how they measure that or what distance from the light they measure it, but real world results, just buy the thing, shine it. If it's to your liking, then great. If it's not, then return it. They also reckon on the, the DCB201, I think it's a 15 milliamp, talking rubbish, 1500 milliamp battery. They reckon this thing will shine on the bright setting for approximately 3.5 to 4 hours, and on the dim setting approximately 13 hours. So that's not bad. That's on the 1500. I use the 5 amp batteries, so I'm probably guessing we're going to get around 10 to 12 hours on the bright setting, that's impressive, really impressive. A nice little feature that when the battery's going flat, it kind of warns you before it just switches off when it's, that's not good, pulling out some of the nylon casing there. It's got a feature where it blinks twice and then it dims as the battery's going flat, and that's just to tell you, listen, it's time to charge this thing, and it'll do that every 45 seconds. So nice little feature. I think a lot of the new style of lights has got that. I can't remember if I mentioned this is the type 1. So in DeWALT's kind of nomenclature, or however the hell you say that thing, type 1 means it's the first iteration of this model. So let's just have a look at this. There we go. This is my 18 volt XR impact wrench, and it's the type 10. So it's the 10th iteration of this model. Yeah, man. Hopefully we don't cause too much damage by opening it. I still want to be able to use this thing. I mean, it's practically brand new. I think it's about 5 or 6 days old. So I always wonder about this type of thing, DeWALT and Milwaukee, Makita, all of those brands, Hilti maybe, they're good at making power tools, and this is kind of slightly away from their normal tool manufacturing. So let's hope they carry the quality through. It's also made in China. Now I think DeWALT was bought out by, I don't know, Black & Decker. I think they were bought out by Black & Decker. And they are no longer manufactured in America anymore. They are assembled in China. Still supposedly an American design product. It also came with this handy little belt hook. Works pretty well. Doesn't have a magnet. Of course, you're not going to be doing any screwing or drilling with this thing, so it doesn't really matter. But you can put that hook on either side of the torch. Yeah, see, man, these things are tight. Well, that's actually a good thing. I took apart another item a few days ago, and the mounting screws that keep the 2 halves of the clamshell together, they actually came out really easily. You can feel they weren't biting in the plastic, and it's quite a nice feeling to have to really work to get these fasteners out. You can actually see I want to say they were glued in. No, I don't think they were glued in, but they just bite really well into the nylon. Oh, this one is a bit tight. Yes, man. I think I'm going to have to go and get one of the little bits. Luckily they're not security Torx, it's just a normal Torx, so got something with a little bit more vuma. Let's see if this thing works. Yeah, that's better. I think these little screws aren't that, well, screwdrivers, Torx drivers, they're not that great. Let's hope there's no major springs or anything that's going to fly apart. Pretty sure we're going to have to take this off. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Am I missing something here? Almost feels like there's another fastener somewhere. Oh, there is. Look at that. So you have to peel this sticker off to get to that fastener there. Okay, that's just a little hole where the wires go in. I wonder if there's anything here. There is something on this side. Yeah, there we go. There we have it. It's the last torque. Whoa, shit. I don't think this one's going to fit. No. Let's hope it's not too tight so I can get it out. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. You can slow me down, but you can't stop me. Woo, look at those lovely electronics. Nicely covered up. It's probably for its waterproof rating. Well, the torch is actually not really waterproof. It's got an IP54 rating, which means that I think it's ingress protection. As far as I can remember, the 5 is it's slightly protected from dust, so it's not completely sealed. But dust shouldn't harm the internal electronics, and the number 4 is the water protection, so it can take splashes from any direction, but it can't take a direct hit of water. So don't spray your hose into this thing because it'll be buggered. The casing is quite nice actually, pretty firm. It's check there, PC plus ABS, so it's polycarbonate, a mixture of polycarbonate and ABS plastic. Yeah, that's just for recycling purposes, so the recyclers know how to treat this. It's got that rubber overmolding. Not too sure exactly about the compound, but from what I've watched and seen other YouTubers that talk about tools, that these rubber overmoldings don't really last very long, especially if you're working in a dirty environment with oils and that type of thing. Over time they get flaky and sticky and start peeling off. But luckily I don't really work in an environment that's too dirty. Oh, there we go, IP54. So, not too bad. Just have a look here. Okay, that's the little yeah, let's try and not lose the pieces. Jeez. Little spring and locator. I think that's what gives it its, there we go, it locates in those little indents. That's what gives it the clicking action as you rotate the flashlight. Looking at the switch, this is not exactly a really big or you know, it switches as you would think. It's not switching any big current. There we go. It's just one of these little surface mount switches. Oh, nice. Look at this. You're going to find this a lot these days. These are little anti-stealing tabs. Let's not let them follow us around, but they installed into the tools nowadays. Just normally stuck. This one I see was just stuck kind of on that flat little surface. Sometimes you see they've actually got a molding, a small rectangular molding where that little piece fits in. As for the wires inside, they look really thin actually. Just trying to see what gauge wire they are. There we go. Got it out. I don't really like that, so let's have a look, see if we can see actually a little bit closer here. The wires, that's from the battery that supplies the board, they've been kind of pinched, which is not a very good design. I mean, it's all good and well to have little fasteners to keep your wires from rattling around, but to pinch the actual wiring there, and you can see it over there, I don't like that when manufacturers overlook that type of detail. There's the board. All nicely covered up. I'm not actually too sure what this, if it's a type of epoxy or anything, but all covered up. I suppose to protect their design and to protect it from water. The little switch, that's just a surface mount PCB switch, all electronic. It'll be, there should be a little MOSFET or something inside here that switch switches, and then it's got three wires going up to the head unit here. One will be ground, and then the other two will be for the sort of for the high beam LEDs, and then the third one will be for the red LED. The switch is quite cool. Nice, also a little rubber. I think it's the same as this stuff. It's made from TPE. It's a thermoplastic elastomer. Basically, just a nice, soft little plastic. Okay, there we go. We are in like sin. This top is also quite sturdy. Not too bad. It's polycarbonate and ABS blend. Also with that TPE overmolding. Quite cool. Here's the business end, really. Massive heatsink. Now, I think that's just to obviously cool the LEDs down as they work. You know, LEDs, even though they are bright and some of them can draw quite a lot of power, they do get hot. I wonder what this is. This feels like a polycarbonate cover, or lens cover. It's got a small sealing ring, a little O-ring around the lens cap. Let's try not to get that too dirty. And then here's the lens. Now, something I'm not too happy about. I don't know if you can see this, but oh, there we go. Have a look at the red LED. This one over here. You can see that the LED is not positioned exactly in the middle of the what do you call this thing again, man? Of the reflector. Same with this one. Have a look at that. It's all the way to the right hand side. This one too is all the way to the right hand side. And so is this one. So it's not exactly precision engineered parts here. I would have thought that they would line that up all nicely. But anyway, I suppose it is what it is. Yeah, it's a nice aluminium heatsink. This reminds me of the heatsinks in old computers. The wiring that's going to the it's going from the control, or the little confuser there, to the actual LEDs. That's 22 gauge wire, 300 volt rated, so not too bad. And yeah, it's got a lot of this thermal gook on it. That's quite messy actually, but good thing they've put this on. You'll see in some of the cheap lights that you get, like these types of things, this is one of the kind of cheaper models of torch that you get. You know, you buy it on Fleabay, that type of thing. Well, there it is there. Those, well, from what I could see, these don't have that thermal paste on, so that's quite a nice feature. Focus. There we go. There's the reflector with its board. I think these are supposed to be Cree LED drivers, if I remember reading correctly. There's where the wires are soldered onto. Here's all the thermal paste. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I suppose it does the job. You know, it's not designed to last forever, for the next 30 years, but it is designed to work. Just don't know exactly how well this is gonna hold up against dropping and that type of thing. Also, this coating, hopefully they've done a good job on applying this silver reflective coating, because once that starts degrading, then you'll lose a bit of your light intensity. So there we have it. Overall, it's not badly built. One or two little things that I could see are, you know, a little bit chintzy there. The wiring's a bit thin. Those crimp marks that's from the housing here, or the wire being joined into the housing, or being wedged into the housing. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I think if you look after it, don't drop it, don't throw it around too much. Probably last you a good few years. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.